everybody. My name's Ashley Owens. I'm a networking concierge. What the hell does that mean? I actually network for a living. And today we're going to talk about how to make sure to maximize your efficiency while you do the speed networking. Typically, I was told not to move around a lot, but I get very excited. So are we good? Cool. So today we're going to talk about how to really maximize your efficiency while you're doing speed networking. But networking sucks half the time, especially when you go into conferences, because it's just like, oh, here's my business card, here's my QR code, here's blah, 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 all these things that you actually hate doing. But what I learned today as I was talking to the amazing people of this conference is that everybody that's here wants to be here. You actually want to be here. You don't have to be here. You're not getting credits for some kind of certification that nobody understands. You're actually here because you want to be here. So let's make this fun and not weird, because we all know Carl, who makes things weird at conferences. Or it's Brenda. Sorry if there's any Brendas here, but it's a Brenda. It's always making it weird. All right, cool. So just a couple things, because let's just have some fun here. A little bit background on me. Again, I'm originally from North Jersey. I'm a fast talker, and we have the best bagels. I'm in Dallas, Texas now. I can't find a goddamn bagel anywhere. Somebody give me an idea. All right, next, I was previously a celebrity personal assistant. The only thing I can tell you about that is that therapy bills are very high. Next, I competed in CrossFit competitions. Couldn't lift an iPhone right now, but I used to be cool, and I could pick stuff up and put stuff down. I came in 31st place out of 34, which just means I survived the competition. Is it? Okay. The next is I was karaoke. I'm very proud of this. Karaoke champ 2 times. I need to update that. 2-time karaoke champ, which just means I outlasted all the drunk people. That's all it means. It's not good. It's not great. But at 11 o'clock with 2 tequila shots, it's fantastic. I've been in 12 movies as an extra, just because I used to have a performance background. I used to be an extra. And then I also ate a Carolina Reaper once. Who knows what a Carolina Reaper is? Okay, tell the class what a Carolina Reaper is. It is the worst life decision I ever made. Yes, thank you very much. It was on a dare. Thank you very much for sharing. And it was worse. So now you have all fun facts. You don't know my accreditations. You don't know my background when it comes to anything professional. You know cool stuff about me. That's what networking is. I want you all to take out of your vernacular that I need to tell you who I am, what I do, and how I can serve you. Get it out of your little brains. And we're going to expand on how to actually build a connection with somebody else, but to do it tactically. You all know how to network because you all know how to talk to people. Next, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how stressful is networking? So here's the reality when it comes to networking. We're going to start at the very base level. You know how to network, you know what networking is. However, let's be very clear. Only people who genuinely care are going to talk to you and not at you, like an Italian mother during Christmas time asking when you're going to have kids. Only people who genuinely care are going to help you anyway. They're not going to call you up and say, hey, can you put down $25,000 on this sponsorship for a charity you know nothing about? They're going to ask you to make an introduction, or they're going to ask you to say, hey, would you mind sharing this post? Would you mind sharing this newsletter? Could you give me some feedback on this? These are free tactical activities to network. Only people who genuinely care are going to ask you for realistic favors. Again, they're not going to go ahead and say, give me, and take. They're going to ask you for things that are actually realistic. Going back to people who genuinely care will help you anyway, there are about 5 people on your phone that could bury a dead body, correct? Yes? Imagine having a ton of those people to build your army. People who could advocate for you when you're not in the room. So here's a question for you. What's the maximum number of people we can actually maintain social interactions with? All right, it's 150. 150 is called the Robin Dunbar theory. The theory states that you can only handle 150 meaningful connections in your lifetime, which means you get to be selective about the people that you put in those slots. Not every Joe, Dick, and Harry gets a chance to be in those slots. So what does that mean? You get to choose. The people that you want to build your army are going to be people that you know, that you like, and that you trust. So if you have 150 people, that's only in your lifetime. People will come in and out of those slots, but only 150 is at the very, very top tier. If someone comes over and tells you, hey, I have 15,000 LinkedIn connections, you can say, bye, Paul. Bye, Carl. Do you know those people? Absolutely not. They're full of stuff. Story time. Everyone knows who Paul Revere is, right? You don't know who Paul Revere? Okay. Anybody know who's William Dow? William Dawes? No? Okay, good. Want to know why Paul Revere is known in history? They did the exact same thing. One rode north, one rode south. Doesn't really matter. The point is, Paul Revere was an information broker. An information broker is somebody who connects unrelated groups of people. So the reason why history remembers Paul Revere is because Paul Revere knew what doors to knock down when he entered that small town. William Dow's did not. So the moral of this story is that if your message, your skill set, your service, anything to do with your business does not get to the right people, doesn't matter how good you are, you're going to fall into obscurity just like William Dow's. So think about your message, think about who the people you want to connect with, and stick with that list. Here's the direct SOP for getting meetings on your calendar, because we're all here to network, we're all here to do business. 3 things. I'm going fast. I apologize. I know I have so much information. But A and the B team. Your A team are the people that you know, you like, and you trust. Your B team are the people that you know and you like. The E3 method, posting and connecting on LinkedIn. So what that means is you're going to extract, educate, and entertain every single day for a month and see how many people actually connect with you that you want to meet and you want to know, like, and trust. And the $80 method is also another virtual thing. But what I'm going to talk to you about today, because I got to learn more about what your activities are, is that speed networking is 2 minutes of setting up a personal connection with somebody, which is significantly not enough time. So what are you going to do? You're going to talk business? It's so awful. No, you're not going to talk business. You're going to find out where that person loves to go on vacation. I met with Brian today. I think it was Brian. We talked about, Brian, are you here? Hi. We had I couldn't tell you what you did, except I know that you do software because I was actually interested in that. But I loved the fact that I get to know about the 2 sons that you have. You're going to be going to Austin. I gave you an idea of where to go for you, your wife to go to Pete's Dueling Piano Bar. And now I know that you have a tool that I could potentially use for my own travel. But I got there not because I gave a damn about what he did. I got there because I gave a damn about who he is. So when you do these speed networking opportunities, try to save it to the last minute. If you like them, if you enjoy their company, and if you vibe well, that's when you want to put the meeting on the calendar. If you need a little bit more time because everybody's different, then you can take your time to do that. But remember, you only want 150 people in your network that you can then know, like, and trust. You can always build up those connections, but think about it this way. Think about being in high school, or think about being in college, and you have a group of friends. Could you treat those friends the same way you treat a professional connection? Not always. Imagine having those people in your room that will advocate for you, that will be your army. When you think about an army, you think about people that will fight for you. But in order for an army to fight for you, you got to fight for them tenfold, right? So if you build an audience, I've built an army. My network will never, ever, ever let me fail. So imagine being able to do that. So here are the 3 kinds of people that you're networking with: strategic partners, subject matter experts, and your current network. These are the 3 kinds of people. So the strategic partners, everyone knows what a strategic partner is, or a referral partner is. But just to give you an example, a real estate agent and a divorce lawyer are fantastic strategic partners. Why? Who else is divorced? Raise your hand. We'll have a party later. Because when a person is getting divorced, they're either upsizing or downgrading. So think laterally. Take about 2 seconds to think about the 5 industries that are relevant to your field that your person or your client needs to get to before and after they get to you. Those are the 5 to 10 industries that you network with. Those are the conferences that you attend. Those are the associations that you attend. Those are the people that you accept on LinkedIn, because you can then refer or you can provide some kind of resource that is dependent on your industry. So these are the 3. The subject matter experts, you're talking to one right now. I've got a huge network that I'd be happy to introduce any of you to. And then your current network. How many times have you not followed up when you know you should have? Mm-hmm. I get it. I can hear the rumblings. So being able to follow up consistently is going to be key. So after this conference, how are you going to do that? We can talk about it. So we talked about building your army. This is an actual template of building out your CRM. This is called the A and the B team. Here's what you do. It's a list of LinkedIn industries, and here's what you do if you want to build up your network. You go through that list of industries. You take one pass at it, and if anybody that you know comes to mind when you see animation or apparel and fashion, write their names down. Take a first pass. I don't care if it's 2 or 25. Take a first pass. That's your A team, because they've already subconsciously stuck in your mind of somebody that you know, you like, and you trust. The B team is when you go back to LinkedIn, search up those industries, and say, hey, these are people that I could potentially work with that I know and I like, and I'm working on the trust factor. Now, when you're on a call or when you're having meetings after this conference, and they say, I'm really looking to meet X, Y, and Z, you can control F it right inside of the Excel file and say, oh, I'd be happy to make this connection. And now you're keeping track. This tool and this template will be available to you right after this presentation. The E3 method, extract, educate, entertain. To give a perfect example, I'm a little crazy, and I like to make people laugh as much as possible. So on my LinkedIn, I took a story like aliens coming down from the Mars, and the government shooting them down. But what if they're just here to network, and all we're doing is just knocking them out of the sky? I made a whole post about that. I got 2 calls on my calendar being like, you're absolutely crazy, let's chat. The goal is, if you can extract, and in fact, right now, open up your phones. Open up your phones, take a picture, not of me, that's annoying, but of the environment, of something. You're going to take something from today, you're going to extract a story, maybe something you learned from any presentation, but maybe the fact that Jim is awesome, and you're going to, you're awesome! You're so good! Okay, so the education part is what you learned, and then the entertaining part is adding your little spin or sass to it, right? I say sass because that's me, but again, put your own flavor to it. When you post that, make sure you tag GNEX conference, and what you want to do is you want to do the E3, extract, educate, entertain. You do that every day for a month. On your LinkedIn, on anything, you become the subject matter expert in your field. I'm not talking about publishing on a new service or offering. Talking about what you've learned and being that kind of thought leader is the first step to engaging with intention, so you don't have to go to every single networking event in every single chamber. You're networking with the right people. I guarantee you more people are going to go into your LinkedIn, want to connect with you, and now you've got these 5 industries that you know you want to connect with, so you can say yes or no. Do you see how we did that? Making it easy, so that way you're not wasting your time and you can follow effectively. Here's a $1.80 method. A little bit more intense, but here's what you can do on LinkedIn. I'm going to skip that for right now. You guys will get this afterwards. The $1.80 method is going into the top 10 hashtags that are relevant to your field on LinkedIn. Then you're going to those posts that have the most engagements. Then you're commenting on those posts, and then you're doing that about 100 times a day. Don't panic. Do not panic. 20 times is fine. The goal is in the morning, while you're pooping, or while you're laying down, or while you're doing something, just go in and start engaging, because guess what? The people that you're engaging with are the ones that you know, you like, and you trust, because you built the A and B team, you did the E3 method, and now you've got people who are now seeing your stuff that are relevant to your field, and now you're building a cohesive network. So those are 3 options. Cool. Next, networking tools I use every single day. When I walk around today, you're going to see something called phone sites. It's called a pulse card. I'm going to tap my little card on top of your phone and make it weird, and just tap my card, and all of my information is going to be now on your phone, or an opportunity for a way to connect with me, and also for me to connect with you. When people say, oh, conferences, there's no ROI, yes, there sure is, because now with the data that you see, you can see who you met, what people that you've shared connections with, and how you can follow up. You can set all of that up. You are working smarter, not harder. So networking is not just building relationships with people. The foundation of it is, but it's the follow-up that makes the most sense. LinkedIn, obviously, and then Calendly. I'm sure everyone understands what Calendly is. If you don't, it's a link to your calendar so people can schedule stuff. Okay, very, very simple. Moving forward, these are the Calendly analytics. Here's how to work smarter, not harder by using the data. In 2018, I took 400 and something calls. Couldn't really tell you, math is not my strong suit, but 400 and something calls. And the goal is, and what I thought was giving me the most calls was a newsletter, because I was spending 2.5 hours on that. Sure as hell was not. Absolutely not was it the newsletter. It was the referrals that I was getting independently from people. So I knew that going to events was my strong suit, so I didn't have to network so much online. But look, LinkedIn is the top 3, which means that's where I spent the majority of my time. So again, working smarter, not harder. In conclusion, activity breeds results. Use all the data to track the ROI of all of your efforts. So again, using the data to be able to build a cohesive network is going to be helpful in the long run. It takes a little bit to set up, but you can make it work. And then you can connect with me right here. Here are your prompts for today. Do not ask the other person what they do. At the networking, speed networking, because everyone's going to yell in your face and tell you and word vomit what they do. The goal is to get to know that person. Here are 2 prompts. Where do you want to go on vacation this year? And what brings you here today? Those are deep, meaningful business conversation questions with one that's a little bit more flary. Those are the 2 questions you want to ask when you're here. And yes, ma'am, what can I answer for you? The question was, there are, out of all of the slots of the Calendly slots, which ones were 15 minutes and which ones were 30 minutes? And what are my thoughts on the time frame? I love doing a 15-minute slot, and on Calendly, I have a 15-minute buffer before and a 15-minute buffer on the end of it. So that way, if it goes over, it allows me to have that freedom to do it. All of these, now sometimes the conversation may go longer, which ideally would be great, especially if we're doing really well. But my time is incredibly valuable, and I book it in 15-minute time slots. However, I leave that buffer to then have more deep, meaningful conversation questions. All right, thank you all very much. Looking forward to seeing everybody.